thank you to the Newtown Action Alliance, the Brady Campaign, Say It to Our Faces, all of the organizations that have been so steadfast and strong despite the uphill battle that we have faced. And thank you to all of my colleagues from the House and the Senate, from Connecticut and Massachusetts and California, all across the country. We are building a movement. There's no question that 90% will be represented by organizations that are just as strong as the NRA. And they don't have beautiful children with them the way we do. Thank you for coming today. I want to say, you may think that Congress does nothing about guns. And the fact is, Congress has failed, utterly failed, to impose universal background checks. It has failed to make sure that the background checks now required under the law are done before guns are sold. It has failed to ban straw purchases and illegal trafficking. It has failed to require that guns be surrendered when protective orders are required to protect a spouse or partner against domestic violence. It has failed to provide the most basic, common sense, sensible measures to protect against gun violence. And the toll is staggering. Not just the 30,000 deaths every year, but 4 times as many injuries. I was talking to an emergency room physician just earlier today, and he was describing some of his experiences, horrific, unspeakable, unimaginable injuries that occur as a result of gun violence, repeatedly to the same people in the same neighborhoods. But Congress has not been entirely inactive. Congress has been complicit, increasingly so, by failing to act. But the one thing it did was to pass PLCAA, which is the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. Now, I have spent most of my life in the courtroom. I have sued organizations and manufacturers involved in this industry. I have been sued by organizations when I represented the state of Connecticut. And I was inspired to introduce the repeal of PLCAA because the Newtown families went to court and tried to get some justice. They tried to hold gun manufacturers accountable. They tried to apply the laws that are imposed on every other industry to these manufacturers. And they face a defense that says, we are different. The law doesn't apply to us. The laws of negligence, of liability for defective products, those laws, we're above them. Why is this industry given that special exemption? Why is it given a special break? Simply because it kills more people? That can't be so. Well, the time is now to open the courthouse doors to people with legitimate legal grievances against the gun industry. We're not creating new laws that hold them to a higher standard of responsibility. We want them to be responsible for the same standards that all other industries have to obey. And that is basic fairness. It's saying everybody deserves and needs a day in court. Everyone should find those courthouse doors open when they need a fair chance at justice. And right now, Congress, day in and day out, is denying families and survivors that fair chance at justice. The repeal of PLCAA should be passed so that the Newtown families can have their day in court, so that everyone who is a victim of illegality in the gun industry will have their day in court. We can't count on law enforcement to do it all. We need those private attorneys general to go into court and make America safer. PLCAA is a barrier to justice in America. And my hope is that this movement will make sure that Congress heeds and hears this call for fundamental justice. It isn't just the survivors and victims of gun violence. It's their families, it's their communities, their neighborhoods, their states, and their country, who are all impacted severely, unjustly. They all deserve a day in court. Thank you.